My friends, we gather here today not just as individuals, but as souls yearning for something greater. In a world that often tells us to play it safe, to stay small, to move cautiously through life, I want to challenge you with a different message. I want to speak to that part of your heart that knows you were meant for more. That deep conviction that whispers to you in quiet moments, telling you that your dreams aren't too big, but perhaps too small. Today, we're going to talk about thinking bigger and moving faster. Not recklessly, not without purpose, but with the kind of bold faith and determined action that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary agents of change. You see, the greatest tragedy in life isn't failure. It's settling for less than what you're capable of achieving. The power of expanded vision. Let me tell you something about vision, my friends. Vision isn't just seeing what is, it's seeing what could be. It's looking at a barren field and seeing a harvest. It's looking at a broken community and seeing restoration. It's looking at your own life, with all its limitations and setbacks, and seeing unlimited potential. Too many people go through life with tunnel vision, seeing only their immediate circumstances, their current limitations, their present troubles. But I want to challenge you today to lift your eyes higher. The person who thinks small will achieve small things. The person who dreams narrow dreams will live a narrow life. When I was a young man, I never imagined that my voice would reach millions of people around the world. I was just a farm boy from North Carolina with a burning passion and a willingness to step out in faith. But something inside me refused to accept the limitations that others wanted to place on my life. I began to think bigger, not about my own glory, but about the impact one life could have when fully surrendered to a greater purpose. Think about this. Every great achievement in human history began with someone who dared to think beyond the accepted boundaries of their time. The Wright brothers didn't just dream of fixing bicycles, they dreamed of human flight. Thomas Edison didn't just tinker with gadgets, he envisioned a world illuminated by electric light. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't just see the injustices of his day, he saw a future where all people could live together in harmony and equality. What sets these individuals apart wasn't superior intelligence or perfect circumstances. What set them apart was their willingness to think bigger than their current reality, to envision possibilities that others couldn't see, and then to move toward those possibilities with unwavering determination. But here's what I want you to understand. Thinking bigger isn't about ego or personal ambition. True visionary thinking is about recognizing that you have been placed on this earth for a purpose greater than yourself. It's about understanding that your talents, your experiences, even your struggles, have prepared you to make a unique contribution to this world. When you think bigger, you stop asking, "What can I get out of life?" and start asking, "What can I give to life?" You stop focusing on your limitations and start focusing on your potential. You stop being overwhelmed by the size of the challenges around you and start being excited by the size of the opportunities. Breaking free from mental barriers now. I know what some of you are thinking. You're saying, "That sounds wonderful, but you don't know my situation. You don't know the obstacles I'm facing. You don't know how many times I've tried and failed." My friends, I want to address those mental barriers that keep us trapped in small thinking, because the truth is, the biggest obstacles to thinking bigger aren't usually external, they're internal. They're the voices in our heads that tell us we're not qualified, not smart enough, not connected enough, not worthy enough to pursue something significant. Let me share something with you. Every person who has ever accomplished anything meaningful has had to battle these same voices. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't isn't the absence of doubt. It's the decision to move forward in spite of doubt. Fear is perhaps the greatest enemy of expanded thinking. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish, fear of being criticized. But I want to challenge you to reframe your relationship with fear. Instead of seeing fear as a stop sign, start seeing it as a compass, pointing you toward the very thing you need to do to grow. When I first started preaching, I was terrified. My hands would shake, my voice would quaver, and I was certain that everyone could see how inadequate I felt. But I made a decision that changed everything. I decided that my fear was less important than my purpose. I decided that the message I had to share was bigger than my insecurities. Another barrier to thinking bigger is comparison. We look at others who seem more talented, more educated, more connected, and we convince ourselves that success is reserved for people like them. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of how achievement works. Success isn't about being better than everyone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. It's about maximizing your own unique gifts and opportunities. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs the original version of you, operating at your highest potential. Past failures can also become mental prisons. You've tried something before, and it didn't work out, so you conclude that you're not cut out for big dreams. But failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to success. Every failure teaches you something, prepares you for something, and qualifies you for something greater. I want you to understand that your past doesn't determine your future unless you let it. Every new day is an opportunity to think bigger thoughts, make bolder decisions, and take more decisive action. The person you were yesterday doesn't have to be the person you are today. The urgency of action, but thinking bigger, is only half the equation. The other half is moving faster. And by moving faster, I don't mean being reckless or hasty. I mean acting with urgency, purpose, and decisiveness. One of the greatest tragedies I've witnessed in my decades of ministry is the number of people who have great dreams but never seem to get started. They're always preparing, always planning, always waiting for the perfect moment. But perfection is the enemy of progress, and the perfect moment is a myth. Time is the one resource we can never get back. Every day you delay taking action toward your dreams is a day lost forever. Every moment you spend in hesitation is a moment that could have been spent in progress. I've observed that successful people share one common trait: they have a bias toward action. When they see an opportunity, they move quickly. When they have an idea, they test it immediately. When they encounter an obstacle, they look for solutions right away. This doesn't mean they're impulsive or unprepared. It means they understand that action creates momentum, and momentum creates results. They know that you can't steer a stationary car, but once you get moving, you can adjust your direction as you go. Consider this: how many opportunities have you missed because you were waiting for more information, more resources, or more confidence? How many dreams have died in the planning phase because you never took the first step? The truth is, you don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't need to have all the answers before you begin. What you need is enough faith to start and enough persistence to continue. Moving faster also means being willing to make decisions quickly. Indecision is a decision. It's a decision to let circumstances decide for you. When you delay making important choices, you're essentially choosing to remain where you are, and where you are may not be where you belong. Overcoming the paralysis of perfectionism. One of the biggest reasons people fail to move faster is perfectionism. They want to wait until they have the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect resources. But perfectionism isn't about excellence. It's about fear disguised as high standards. Let me tell you something about perfection. It's not only impossible, it's unnecessary. What matters isn't doing everything perfectly. What matters is doing something meaningful consistently. Progress, not perfection, should be your goal. I think about the countless sermons I've preached over the years. If I had waited until I had the perfect message, delivered with perfect eloquence, to the perfect audience, I would never have preached at all. Instead, I chose to deliver imperfect messages with sincere hearts, and somehow those imperfect efforts reached millions of lives. The enemy of great is not good. The enemy of great is waiting for perfect. Your imperfect action today is infinitely more valuable than your perfect plan tomorrow. This is especially important in our current age of information overload. We have access to more knowledge, more resources, more opportunities than any generation in history. But all this information can become paralyzing if we use it as an excuse to delay action. Stop researching and start implementing. Stop planning and start doing. Stop preparing and start participating. The world needs what you have to offer, and it needs it now, not when you think you're ready. The compound effect of consistent action. When you combine bigger thinking with faster action, something magical happens. You create momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human achievement. Small actions taken consistently over time create extraordinary results. This is what I call the compound effect of consistent action. Just as compound interest can turn small investments into great wealth, consistent daily actions toward your bigger vision can turn modest beginnings into remarkable achievements. Think about water cutting through rock. It's not the force of any single drop that creates the canyon. It's the persistent, consistent flow of water over time. Your daily actions, no matter how small they seem, are like those drops of water. Individually, they may seem insignificant, but collectively, they have the power to reshape the landscape of your life. This is why moving faster doesn't necessarily mean taking giant leaps. It means taking consistent steps. It means doing something every single day that moves you closer to your bigger vision. It means refusing to let a day pass without some form of progress, no matter how small. I've seen too many people start strong but fail to maintain consistency. They have a burst of enthusiasm, take massive action for a few days or weeks, then burn out and quit. But sustainable success isn't about massive action, it's about consistent action. The person who reads one page of a good book every day will read 18 books in a year. The person who makes one new positive connection every day will have a network of 365 people by year's end. The person who improves their skills by just 1% every day will be 37 times better by the end of the year. These may seem like small actions, but their cumulative effect is transformational. This is the power of thinking bigger while moving faster. You create a momentum that becomes unstoppable. The ripple effect of bold living. When you start thinking bigger and moving faster, you don't just change your own life. You create ripples that extend far beyond yourself. Your bold action gives others permission to think bigger and move faster in their own lives. I've witnessed this phenomenon countless times throughout my ministry. When one person in a community steps out in faith and pursues something significant, it inspires others to do the same. When one business owner decides to expand their vision and serve at a higher level, it elevates the entire business community. When one family decides to break generational patterns and pursue excellence, it affects generations to come. Your willingness to think bigger and move faster isn't just about your personal success. It's about becoming a catalyst for positive change in the lives of others. It's about becoming the kind of person who inspires others to raise their standards and expand their vision. This is the true meaning of leadership, not just achieving your own potential, but helping others achieve theirs. Not just reaching your own dreams, but inspiring others to pursue theirs. Not just thinking bigger for yourself, but helping others expand their own thinking. When you live boldly, you give others permission to do the same. When you pursue excellence, you raise the standard for everyone around you. When you refuse to settle for mediocrity, you challenge others to refuse as well. Practical steps to implementation. Now, let me share some practical steps you can take to implement this philosophy of thinking bigger and moving faster in your own life. First, conduct a vision audit. Take an honest look at your current goals and dreams. Are they big enough to inspire you? Are they significant enough to matter? If your dreams don't scare you a little bit, they're probably too small. Write down your biggest, most audacious goals, the ones that make your heart race with excitement and your palms sweat with nervousness. These are the goals worth pursuing. These are the dreams that will pull the best out of you. Second, identify your first steps. Big dreams can be overwhelming, but every journey begins with a single step. What's the first action you can take today to move toward your bigger vision? Don't worry about step 10 or step 20. Focus on step 1/3. Create daily practices that align with your bigger vision. What could you do every single day that would move you closer to your goals? Reading, learning, networking, creating, practicing. Identify the daily actions that compound over time. Fourth, eliminate or minimize activities that don't serve your bigger vision. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between successful and unsuccessful people isn't time, it's how they use their time. What activities are you currently doing that don't contribute to your larger purpose? Fifth, surround yourself with people who think bigger and move faster. Your environment shapes your thinking, and your thinking shapes your results. If you're surrounded by people who think small and move slowly, their mindset will influence yours. But if you surround yourself with people who think boldly and act decisively, their energy will lift you up. Conclusion: Your time is now, my friends. We come to the end of our time together, but this isn't really an ending. It's a beginning. It's the beginning of a new chapter in your life, a chapter written with bigger thoughts and faster action. I want to leave you with this truth. You have something unique and valuable to contribute to this world. Your talents, your experiences, your perspective. These are gifts that have been entrusted to you, not for your benefit alone, but for the benefit of others. The world is waiting for what you have to offer. There are problems that need your solutions, people who need your encouragement, communities that need your leadership, and dreams that need your courage to pursue them. But the world won't wait forever. Opportunities have expiration dates. Seasons of favor come and go. The time for thinking bigger and moving faster isn't someday, it's today. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for more resources or more confidence or more time. Everything you need to get started is already within you or within your reach. Think bigger than you've ever thought before. Move faster than you've ever moved before. Live bolder than you've ever lived before. The time is now, the opportunity is here, and you are ready. Your bigger life is waiting for you to claim it. Your faster pace is waiting for you to embrace it. Your greater impact is waiting for you to create it. The question isn't whether you can think bigger and move faster. The question is whether you will. The choice is yours. The power is yours. The time is now. Go forth and live the life you were meant to live. Think bigger, move faster, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. God bless you, and may your journey be filled with bold faith, decisive action, and extraordinary results.